Hello everyone, welcome back to Prabhi, and this is Placement Unlocked series, and we are going to start with the topic Hidden Economics of Placements. So this is going to be a session where we break all the myths. We tell you what the reality is so that you can make an informed choice, so that you know what's the existing reality for all of your campus placements and what your expectations should be, how you should work, what you have to do to get the best possible offer, and make sure you know your expectations are set right. All right. So let's begin. First, let's deal with the fundamental myth that the students have. See, most students they view placements as an academic scorecard where high CGPA or consistent performance or hard work would definitely mean a top tier campus placement, top tier offer, top tier role. But this perspective it assumes that there is an infinite capacity on the recruiter side and they would treat candidate assessment as an absolute score evaluation. But that is not the case always. You need to understand what the economic reality is, how the market would work. Because, see, I would not blame your perspective or your assumption. Yes, hard work, good CGPA, good brands on your CV should definitely mean that you convert top tier offers. That is something that I agree. But again, things don't work in this way. Campus recruitment, it is a very constrained matching market where recruiters have very limited time. They have finite time, they have very limited interview slots, and they have strict candidate quotas. They visit various campuses. They have to deal with various students, various matches, and that too within a very limited time, within a very limited interview slots that they can schedule. And there is no absolute bar that the candidates would have to compete against, right? They compete for very scarce, very transactional slots in a very fast clearing market pipeline. So you need to understand the economic reality is way different from what the student assumptions are. So please understand the recruiters are in, you know, time crunch. They have limited slots, and you would be joining what 6 7 months or 9 months later, right? So there are so many criteria that the interviewers have to think about, and there is no absolute bar that you're competing against. There is no absolute scorecard that you'll have for evaluation perspective. It is very different, and that is the reason why a lot of students comment that campus placements are arbitrary. There are random things that happen. The reason being, things aren't random. The economic reality, the hidden economic reality of placements is very different. And I would not say it irrational, but sometimes you would call it that, right? So please understand this dynamics of the market, and because it's very important for you to set your expectations clear. Now coming to the next, the fundamental myth is cleared. Now the placement scarcity funnel. First, there are so many eligibility filters, work ex caps, undergrad domain. People would hire only engineering. I know a company that hires only engineers even for the HR role. Sometimes you might question what's the need, but they have very strict eligibility filters, work ex caps, undergrad domain caps, academic cutoffs, especially in finance or consulting, above 60%, 70%, 7 CGPA, only then you'll be considered. And this one would automatically remove half of your applicants. So there are very strict, especially I would say all of this. I have personally witnessed freshers don't get a lot of opportunities. There are so many companies that would definitely have minimum 2 to 3 work ex as their eligibility criteria. Academics, if you're targeting finance and consulting, do have good acads. They do consider this as one of the filter. And undergrad domain engineers might get preferred. There are some sectors where other domains are also preferred. Sometimes biotechnology is also preferred, so it's different. So there are a lot of eligibility criteria. Then comes the shortlist bottleneck. The recruiters they compress 400, 300 CVs into 15 to 20 interview slots using quick heuristic signals. So imagine a campus, everyone applied, there are 300 people, 400 people applying for the same role, where only one or two candidates will be selected. So how do you think the CV shortlist happens? It will be very quick heuristic signals that the AI or HR would go through, and then you get shortlist, and maybe 20 people will get into interview or GD, whatever, and then two or three will get placed that day. So the shortlist bottleneck is also one thing. Let's say eligibility criteria आपने clear कर दिया. You are eligible and you have applied to the company. Shortlisting criteria varies. They have very few, very quick heuristic signals that they use to shortlist your resume. And out of that, only 20% of the applicants do get shortlisted. Now, there is interview slot pattern. Now, there is very high competition, very high intensity rounds that take place, and uh, per firm they would have very tight time limits. इस campus में हम एक ही दिन जाएंगे जितना I have personally seen that there was a time limit that the interviewer came with, even if there are more slots left, candidates to be interviewed, they are left, they have been shortlisted, but उनका interview नहीं हुआ because companies come with very tight time limits, right? So interview slot का battle भी होता है यहाँ पे in campus placements. I myself have witnessed this or have experienced this where I was shortlisted and it was the final round, yet I wasn't interviewed for the company because they had their flights. They thought this is the time when that would cover all of it, but sometimes it does not happen. You can't blame anyone. That's just how things work here. Then comes your final allocation. Now, offers are made with strict acceptance logs, markets clears within 24 to 72 hours. ऐसे तुम्हें choice नहीं दी जाती है that तुम salary negotiate करो, तुम location negotiate करो, या तुम कुछ भी negotiate करो. Offers are made with very strict acceptance logs. This is something that you'll have to do. And obviously, sometimes you don't even have the choice. You will have to accept it. So this is the funnel, the scarcity funnel, wherein you'll have to meet the eligibility, pray that your CV gets shortlisted, then interview slot मिल जाए, interview clear हो जाए, फिर offer को accept करना है. So this is the entire, economics of how placements work here at campuses. Now coming to the next, uh, market value drivers. Just a second. Yeah, the math behind the slot scarcity. 1:12, that is the typical slot to applicant ratio. So for one slot, I would say there are around 12 applicants, and this is the harsh reality. A corporate team visiting campus for day one, they usually brings 2 to 3 interviewers. Assuming 30 to 45 minutes per candidate, their hard upper ceiling is 12 to 18 interview slots per day. Even if 200 students are fully qualified, the company cannot physically interview more than 15. And the shortlisting decision is strictly an exercise in extreme risk minimization. The applicant to slot ratio is bizarre. I mean, how much time would a interviewer spend on you? Hardly 30 minutes, 45 minutes maybe. They can, physically take only 15 interviews on an average per day, and they wouldn't be wasting a lot of time. So things are difficult for you to get the short list, for you to get that interview slot, for you to have that interview process smoothly. It takes a lot of luck, I would say, and it takes a lot of patience, luck, everything in place for you to get into that interview. I'm saying clear करना नहीं करना तो बात की बात है. So please understand these are the strict hiring, I would say, things that take place. Now, let's move ahead with market value drivers. What are the market value drivers? अभी तो मैंने बता दिया कि क्या है, how the placement works, what is the reality, and कैसे करना है, क्या करना है, वो तो ठीक है, that you have understood. But it's difficult. That is something that you have understood. But how do you actually understand what are the market value drivers? First thing is brand and pedigree signals. Prior tier 1 company brand names or elite undergrad colleges, they act as risk reduction proxy markers for screening algorithms. You have an IIT tag, you have an NIT tag, you have a very prestigious brand in your CV. Somehow, वो एक recruiter के लिए एक होगा कि if this particular brand has trusted, maybe this is a good CV. If he has gotten into IIT, maybe he's a good candidate. He cracked the JEE. It's not simple. It shows how hardworking he is, how dedicated he is. He has passed out from that college. It speaks volumes, right? So having a good brand, having a company brand, good college brand, that is obviously a proxy marker for screening algorithms. So that is a very crucial market value driver. Then comes your domain and role fit alignment. Directly transferable work ethics. It reduces the onboarding friction for the recruiters and it makes the candidate productive right from day one. You don't have to give them any specific training or anything as such. So domain and role fit alignment hai, so there are very good chances that you are most valued or you will sought after in placements. So अगर तुम्हारे पास directly transferable skills है work ex के, there will be lesser onboarding friction, lesser time, money, energy that has to be spent on you. So obviously you'll be their first choice. Then comes various companies, they have various factors that they consider, portfolio and diversity factors. Corporate hiring policies, they require diverse cohorts across gender, acad background, prior industry experience. कुछ ना कुछ उनके पास diversity के factors होते हैं that they have in their mind and they bring. If you have anything niche, if you have something different, sometimes it might work in your favor. People might want to shortlist your CV. So these are the three market value drivers. First, try if you can get into any brand, any pedigree signal. See, college तो हो गया, you cannot get, but live project भी कोई अच्छे brand के लिए कर लिया. Certifications you have done for some good brands, from some good brands, workex है कोई अच्छे brand में, you have better chances of shortlist for sure. तुम्हारा domain और role fit alignment है. Because sometimes I see people want to experiment, people want to change the domains. थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है placements में. I'm not saying it's impossible, but मुश्किल हो जाता है placements में कि वो करें. The switch happens smoothly. That's, I would say, rare, especially in tier 1.5 and below B schools. And again, you sometimes get brownie points for diversity factors as well. It can be across your experience, it can be across your CAD background, it can be across your gender, anything as such. Okay? So please understand these. Now, these are the CV screening weightages. The larger or the largest chunk would go to your prior work relevance. How relevant your work is? See, a lot of people say कि 2 साल का experience है, 3 साल का experience है, ठीक है, but कितना relevant experience है? That is something that is taken utmost consideration. So अच्छा work रखो, prior work है तो it's always an added advantage. Obviously, it is easier for you to get placed. उतना मतलब trust करते हैं companies because freshers, even if they have the capabilities, they would require some training then, and that's okay. But there are companies who would want you to be productive right from day one. They would not prefer you, and it's okay. उनका भी समझ आता है. So having good workex, relevant workex is at top. Then comes your brand और pre MBA academics. अगर consulting CV है तो वो filter तो थोड़ा लग ही जाता है, that 888 or 999, maybe 10 as well. Or you have a very good brand, very, very good brand in your CV, not just for consulting, but I'm saying in general as well. वो होता है that you have some good brand, then also your CV shortlist will happen. CV spikes है, you have national wins. केस कंपटीशन क्यों करने बोलते हैं हम लोग? because it helps you get added in your CV. And if you have any kind of CV spy, any relevant experience, anything as such, and you know, something that makes you stand out from others, something that differentiates you from other CVs. You have some national wins in case comp or in anything else, then that would definitely be an added advantage. Your current MBA CGPA or rank, it is important. I wouldn't say it's not, but उसका weightage थोड़ा कम है because let's say first year any company hiring for good role and फिर PPI PPO opportunities, वो लोग करंट MBA CGPA नहीं देखेंगे ना, उनके पास तो कोई है ही नहीं. They would be just writing pursuing as of now ऐसा कुछ. तो उसका थोड़ा कम weightage है, but even at second year है, अगर तुम्हारे पास डी और डीन्स मेरिट प्लस DML में हो और यूर टॉप 20% ऑफ द बैच, दैट वुड बी एन एडवांटेज. बट उसके अलावा उतना है. सो please understand that the recruiters use pre-MBA signals as primary filtering mechanisms because MBA marks high inflation है, low differentiation across top institutions में पता भी नहीं है कि अभी कितना मार्क्स चल रहा है. You can always recover और go downhill, तो कुछ भी हो सकता है. तो अभी का एक एड्स तो ठीक है, उतना रेलेवेंस नहीं रखता है, बट पहले के CV में क्या स्पाइक है, क्या ब्रांड है, कितना relevant work experience है, that will always be, you know, a key takeaway for you, for the recruiters. Now comes placement game dynamics. Please understand what is the stage, what the constraint is of recruiter, what is the student risk, and what is the optimal game strategy. So shortlist phase, कॉन्स्टेंट ये है कि 30 सेकेंड पर CV रिव्यू बजट है उनका. आइडियली वो लोग बस ऐसे फिल्टर आउट करेंगे, AI जनरेटेड होगा, ATS में आया तो आया, नहीं आया तो योर बैड लक. No one is physically going to look into your CV and shortlist you. नहीं, ATS से होगा, AI से होगा. So and the student risk is generic pool में you are lost. हमारी CV दिखी ही नहीं. And इसीलिए what you can do, what is the optimal game strategy? Have CV spikes, have clear domain tags. Whatever, let's say it's a marketing CV, have that clear domain tag, have clear CV spikes. बोल्ड करो, जो भी काम किया है उसको स्टैंड आउट फील करवाओ, हाईलाइट करो. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. देन कम्स द सेकेंड स्टेज, दैट इज स्लॉट एलोकेशन. There is very hard cap on number of interviews or interview hours, I would say. So student risk क्या है, slot cannibalization happens across firms. So whatever are the, you know, bid on high probability roles that visit your campus, that would be the best strategy that you can have. And then comes your interview round, wherein anxiety over candidate drops off. एंड स्टूडेंट क्या करते हैं, ज्यादा प्रॉमिस कर देते हैं, ओवर प्रॉमिसिंग, एंड मे बी दे शो देमसेल्व्स एज अ मिसअलाइंड फिट. वो सारी चीजें होती हैं. प्लीज प्लीज शो इमीडिएट execution, immediate domain execution, how you would be the perfect candidate, perfect fit to the company, perfect fit to the role. ये अपने इंटरव्यूज में दिखाना शुरू करो. स्टार्ट योर प्रिपरेशन. Understand JD, how to analyze the company, how to understand the industry, how to analyze the JD. ये सब सेशंस करवाते हैं, करो, देखो. Make sure to demonstrate that in your interviews. Then ऑफर मार्केट, रिक्रूटर्स वांट के सारे ऑफर्स जो एक्सटेंड किए वो सबके सब इन रहे. बट स्टूडेंट रिस्क क्या है, इफ दे होल्ड ऑन फॉर टू लॉन्ग दे मिस लॉट्स. बट बेस्ट ये कि जितना जल्दी एक्सेप्ट कर सकते हो कर लो. That is the best thing. Now let's see tale of two profiles. See, candidate A is a generalist, I would say. Good CAT score, top 10% CGPA, generic IT experience applied to all the domains. They might have one shortlist, zero offers kind of situation. Whereas candidate B might not have a good CAT score, top 30%, top 30% CGPA में आता है. 2 years of fintech ops experience, tailored CV strictly to tech, product, and ops role, he would definitely have more shortlists, more offers than any generalist kind of person, any generalist kind of CV. So please understand that market clarity, domain clarity, it beats non-differentiated excellence every single time. That is the reason why we say right from our GDPI courses हम क्यों बोलते हैं कि domain के knowledge gain करना शुरू कर दो, have that understanding of domain, have the understanding of which domain interests you, because वर्केक्स नहीं है तो एटलीस्ट शो मतलब जीडीपीआई से शुरू अगर किसी ने किया है कि लेट्स से मार्केटिंग इज समथिंग दैट इंटरेस्ट मी, दैट पर्सन विल डेफिनेटली look for internships there, live projects there in that particular domain. वो CV spike मिलेगा उसे. So have that clarity, have that market clarity, domain fit clarity in your mind. Very important. So this is about the market clarity or domain fit, I would say. And now coming to the next, corporate portfolio hiring. See, if you have direct domain fits, that is a safe execution. You have high spikes in your CV, it shows that you're a top performer. And cohort diversity bets, it also has like 15% of chances. And if you have niche profiles, somewhere you are at risk, but वो भी companies कुछ prefer करती हैं. So companies, they view batch hiring like an investment portfolio. 50% would go to zero risk domain matches, perfect. बाकी का जो है वो सब में डिवाइड हो जाता है, किसी को स्पाइक है सीवी में तो दे दिया, किसी का नीश प्रोफाइल है तो दे दिया, कोई डाइवर्सिटी में आ रहा है तो दे दिया, बट 50% इज एग्जैक्ट डोमेन फिट हो रहा है कि नहीं. दैट इज समथिंग दैट वी वुड फॉलो. नाउ दिस इज लास्ट स्लाइड, tactical placement playbook. First is audit your pre-MBA assets. Map your previous work ex, map your previous acad background directly to company job descriptions long before the placement season starts. So make sure तुम्हारा जो acad background है, तुम्हारा जो previous work ex है, वो directly align करे तुम जिस चीज में जाना चाहते हो उससे. Then have engineer high signal CV spikes. Win quiz competition, have industry recognized certifications like CFA, or do very good live projects, so that in the CV screening you will get shortlisted. Avoid the everything trap. Do not apply blindly in every particular domain. ठीक है, कुछ भी schools में choice नहीं है, but make sure you're in your mind you are aligned with one or two domains at max. और तुम्हें पता है कि तुम्हारी shortlist भी उसी domain में आएगी, और make sure you prepare for that domain. And treat placements as a market matching exercise. Understand what recruiters are buying today and position yourself as the exact solution to their immediate needs. So make sure you come across as person who's directly solving their problem, who's the perfect candidate, perfect fit in that particular company, in that particular domain. So उसके लिए क्या चाहिए? Hours and hours of preparation, understanding the JD, understanding how the industry works, वो सबका awareness होना, all of it is very important. So please, I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm not saying you to purchase our course or anything. That is also not the intent. The video has simply been made with the intention of you guys, with the intention that we help you understand how the placement works, what are the challenges, what are the myths, and how you can beat the traps. So, from wherever you can prepare, even if you can prepare on yourself, please do. Please take case competitions seriously, live projects seriously, certifications if appropriate to your field, or understand the recruiter's needs and tailor your answers accordingly. This is very crucial. So, with this, I would just leave you with one more thing, that don't be good, be someone who's scarcely demanded. So you don't win by collecting marks, you win by understanding the market dynamics and positioning yourself where demand exceeds supply. So please understand this, and in the description box you'll also find the link to our WhatsApp group, and you can have free GD sessions, free CV review sessions. We do conduct them on weekly basis. Please do join. That will definitely help you in your placements. And we do not sell any course there, so do not worry. It's completely free, no obligation as such. And we really wish you all the best for your placements. And if you guys need any help, you can reach out to us via these WhatsApp groups. So thank you. Hope to see you there.